For a moment there, I thought it wasn't working. Oh my god. Hi, hello. I just moved out of my college dorm back into this space, my bedroom at my parents' house. But this is not my winter break. I am not going back to the dorm in the spring, or perhaps ever, but that's neither here nor there. I just felt like if I was going to be living and working here for at least the next few months, that I wanted it to be a little bit more functional, a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Just, you know, a space that I would want to spend time in. And I personally think that I was really successful with that goal. I am very happy with how it turned out, and I hope you are as well. Timestamps are in the description and the timeline too, I guess. You are welcome to skip around and watch whichever parts of the video you would like to see. Either way, I hope to see you again at the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy. Bye! This is the side of my bedroom that is just a bedroom. Not expecting to change too much over here other than giving it a good clean. And yeah, this is the side of my room that needs some work. As we can see, it's super duper messy. Like I mentioned, I moved in just a week ago. But before I even start organizing or cleaning anything, I think that I want to move the furniture first, so that when I put everything away, I know that it's going into the place that it will stay. So I think that the first order of operations is going to be moving that really big bookshelf over onto this wall, because this furniture situation is obviously a problem, and I want to figure out something that can optimize the weird space in that eave just a little bit better. So I got this wire cubby wall hanging thing because I really love the way that it looks in Paloma the Peach's studio. I think that it's just a great storage solution for all of those, you know, crafty things that would otherwise just end up in a box or a basket anyways. But what I didn't realize when I was watching her videos and when I was looking at the listing for this thing online on World Market, because I did buy it online, is that it's huge. I think you can tell from the way that I'm handling it and like picking it up that it's very heavy, which is not at all what I was expecting. But in the end, even though it means that I put this thing up in a bit of a funny way, I use 4 nails instead of the 2 screws that it came with, but it ends up really being a happy accident, a delightful surprise, if you may, because it holds all of my yarn and all of my wool and all of my scrap fabric just perfectly. So I really just wanted to hop on to the voiceover and thank Paloma for making that recommendation. So the whole reason that I put up the cubbies in the demented way that I did was in an effort to avoid using the electric drill. And I'm not giving up now. So I've got a hammer and a nail, and we're gonna see if hammering a nail into the wall and then pulling it out is enough to be able to screw a hook into the wall. pliers. Nail is no longer in the wall. Let's see if this genius plan works. Okay, for a moment there I thought it wasn't working, but I was actually just twisting the screw in the wrong direction. There's a hook in the wall, yay! So I know that I said I wasn't going to be changing anything on this side of the room, the bedroom side of the room, but after rearranging the furniture on the studio side of the room, I am left with a bunch of baskets and boxes that really have no home. So I want to figure out something for this bed frame that... Hello?
Why do you have a handsaw?
Because I'm going to cut that off so I can flip the bed over.
What?
I'm gonna flip the bed frame over so that those are the feet, so that I can have space under my bed.
Are you kidding me?
That's my plan, yeah.
Really? How? Why? Like this thing?
Yeah.
And these are gonna... Why?
So that I can have space under my bed.
But then you're not gonna have a headboard.
That's okay, it can be a platform bed. There is so much sawdust on the floor. Oh my god. Ugh. Come here. I'm sorry. So in my previous setup, I did not actually have a dedicated shelf for all of my art books. Instead, they were kind of just, scattered around. And because they're all so tall, they were almost always horizontal and like something else was sitting on top of them. So in order to access the art book, I would have to move something, and that meant that I never ever used them. So what I'm doing here is I am lowering this bookshelf all the way down so that these books can sit vertically and upright, so that all I have to do to pull them off the shelf is just pull them off the shelf. And I'm recording this voiceover, I would say about a week and a half after this footage was taken, and I can tell you that, some of these books I have used more in the past week and a half than I've used in the entirety of the time that I've owned them, which is just really, really wonderful, just because my ultimate goal here is really just to be able to experience all of the beautiful objects that I own as often as I can, and this just really felt like a step in the right direction, and I'm really, really happy about it. Yeah. it's decorating time, the part we've all been waiting for. That being said, my decorating process ended up actually being really difficult to capture good coherent footage of. You know, I set out to decorate all in one sitting so that I could obviously film it for the video, but what I actually ended up doing was, 5 minutes here, 15 minutes there, spread over the course of a week, because whenever I noticed something wasn't working or I had a good idea, I just acted on it, because there are a lot of combinations and variables that I explored before I settled on one finished look. I really do love my postcard collection, though. I have about 300 postcards, which I just love the flexibility that gives me. I also just prefer the look of a bunch of little things glued to the wall as opposed to like a few big posters that really dominate the room, especially because I'm really low on wall space, and I think it's just easier to get tired of big things like that, and I don't know, I like small things. So all of these cute little felted animals were originally part of a mobile that I made for my entrance portfolio to art school, but that mobile was not really meant to last, and over the years it has completely fallen apart. So what I'm doing here is I've taken all of those cute little animals and I am turning them into a garland instead, because that just feels more durable, less moving parts. I was also just ready for a change. The mobile had been hanging previously like off of my ceiling fan, and it just kind of didn't look very good. So that's what I'm doing here, and I end up really happy with the result. I think it's super cute. Shout out to past me for making all of these cute little felted animals. Shout out to Chalupa for being obviously so helpful during this entire process. But yeah, I think that the result is super worth battling Chalupa for control over the string. Okay, let's do this tour thing. Up on the door there, I've got just a nail holding up a scarf that I wear all the time. Then next to the light socket, I've got a nail holding a tote bag that is currently just full of a bunch of miscellaneous junk that I didn't want lying around the room while I gave this tour. Then down next to the wardrobe, I've got a window screen that fell out of one of my windows, my drawing board, and a portfolio bag that is just full of unused canvases and papers. My wardrobe is where I keep my clothes, who would have guessed? And then on top of my wardrobe, I have got a little vanity set up. So I've got, like I mentioned, a couple of postcard packs here. This one is the highlights from MoMA, and this is James Jean's Mimu 2. And I've got this really cool cubby caddy system. I got this as a hand-me-down from my parents. No idea where they got it. This top row is miscellaneous things. This second row is all jewelry. The third row is all makeup. The fourth row is like things that are useful or practical in nature that are not necessarily vanity type stuff, but that I just don't want to lose. And so they go in these little tiny cubbies. And then I've got lipsticks, butterfly clips, eyeliners, and makeup brushes. And then my makeup palettes are in that bottom shelf there. Next to that, I've just got a yoga mat and my laundry bin, which is revealing the fact that I really need to do my laundry. What are you looking at? I don't see what you're seeing. Anyways, this is just my bed. All of these like decorative throws and pillows and stuff are thrifted. That wall hanging tapestry I actually made myself. We've got Lupa's cat palace and all of my wires and chargers. I know that that's not particularly attractive, but it's the best I can manage. And then underneath the bed, because I now have so much lovely space under my bed, we've just got Lupa's litter box, some little storage baskets, and yes, half of them are full of stuffed animals. I am not taking comments on that. I love them all and I can't get rid of them. Moving on to the bookshelf, up on the very top shelf, we've just got some miscellaneous knickknacks and a pitcher for watering the plants. Then we've got the frog shelf. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Underneath that, we've got the rock shelf, also pretty self-explanatory. I do really love them. This big set was a gift from my grandfather, who is a geologist, and received it as a gift from his mother. So I am very honored to have it. I think that it is just so beautiful. The next shelf is a bunch of Chalupa's stuff, his toys, and then that bin is his treats and also his harness. The books on this shelf are all books that I have not read yet, but would like to read. And then underneath that, we've just got the rest of my books. A lot of these are actually not my books, they're my siblings' books because they do not have a bookshelf in their room. But I have plenty of room, so I am happy to hold on to them. In this basket, which is just thrifted, I have up top there is just gloves and sunglasses, and then nail polish, and then like hair stuff. It's like scrunchies and claw clips and stuff like that. Got this beautiful little collection of postcards. I actually wove that basket myself. It's a little wonky, but you know, she's making do. Moving on to the delicious art supply cart. Up on this top shelf, I have all of the things that I use the most frequently. So I've got my colored pencils. Behind there is hiding my eraser and my pencil sharpener. Then I've got my paint brushes and also my scissors because I use them all the time and I want them to have easy access. My gouache paints, my palettes, a little water cup, little water spritzer, basically just gouache and colored pencils. That's what I use the most. Then on the second shelf, we've got my Posca markers, and then that right there is actually a little watercolor set, a hairdryer for drawing the gouache paints, some duct tape, all sorts of adhesives, and a stapler. A stapler is an adhesive, right? I've got mechanical pencils and ballpoint pens, wood pencils and like microns and brush pens, highlighters and metal tools. On the final bottom layer of the cart, we have all of the stuff that I use the least frequently. So this is ink, and underneath it are chalk pastels. This is charcoal, and underneath that is like a bunch of duplicates that I keep around for when I run out of stuff. Mostly gouache and erasers. I don't know why I am in possession of so many erasers. Next to that, I've got all of my fixatives, and then they're just sitting on top of another freaking eraser. What the heck, man? I have so many erasers. I don't know what is up with that. But they're just sitting on top of acrylic paints because I really only use acrylic paints when I am doing like DIY projects and like I need a type of paint that is waterproof. And then on the back side here, we've got all of my clay supplies and then my Copic markers. And that brings us over to my actual workspace. This nice humongous desk is from IKEA. It's a little bit wobbly. It's an IKEA desk, but it is truly huge, which is exactly what I would like. So I've just got a couple of lamps. I have got this wood panel, which was a piece of another desk or like a shelf or something. And I just have that there because I don't really like the way that the sterile white desk looks in videos. So when I'm like recording reels or draw with me's, I like to have that wood panel there just to like cut down on the aggressive whiteness of this desk. I think that if I was to go back, I would definitely buy just a straight up wooden desk. Guys, there's a little bird. Oh my gosh. Anyways, and then also at my workspace, I have just got the 4 utensils that I use the most frequently. And then we've got another nice selection of postcards hanging out on this eave here. And before I forget, you can't see very well, but behind that bookshelf is my portfolio bag that actually has finished works in it. Okay, moving on to the bookshelf. Up here, I've got all of the things that I use every single day. So I've got my daily sketchbook, my planner, and my journal. And then the rest of it is all just cute little knickknacks. That basket is thrifted. I do feel the need to show you that this is a crab. On that top shelf there, I've already talked about it, but that's all just my art books. Love them all. I've also got some National Geographics over there for collaging purposes. Then on the next shelf down, I have got the world's largest collection of paper pads and journal sketchbooks. I have discovered that I am not a huge fan of ring-bound sketchbooks. I just can't make any good spreads on them, and like you want to fold them in half, but then like the other side gets dirty because like the surface you're working on is never 100% clean. So they have been demoted to just scrap paper, but I am committed to working through all of them because I obviously don't want them to go to waste. But then on top of that is just a PlayStation controller so I can play video games on my computer. Next to that is my darning supplies. So it's embroidery thread, needles. I think there might actually be a sock that I'm in the active process of darning, and also the darning egg. You can't forget the darning egg. But all of that is just sitting on top of some more miscellaneous like paper stuff, collaging supplies. In the very back there is a bunch of electronics like wires and charging cables, and yeah, it's just wires and charging cables. And then I have got actually the little miniature Polaroid printer, which is just the cutest thing in the world. On the bottom shelf is Lupa's basket, which he has very conveniently come over here to demonstrate that he does actually like to hang out in there. Oh, we're sleepy. Oh, that was scary. Next to that is just my ancient collection of children's books. I keep them around partially for sentimental reasons, partially for art inspiration. This humongous fake plant, which Lupa loves to eat, is just from IKEA. And then behind the fake plant, I have got a 24-inch loom from Becca, along with a warp board. And in the very back there is just one of my handmade looms. And then I have just got my basket full of like larger scrap fabric. A lot of it is actually just clothing that is too badly damaged to donate, and I don't want to throw it away. I think that the basket is originally from Michael's. I got it thrifted from Goodwill, but I'm pretty sure that I have seen this basket at Michael's before. Okay, we're in the final stretch here. Once again, this is just the wire cubby from World Market. Up at the very top there, I have got some some of the loom parts that I don't just want floating around on the floor. This top row is all just full of wool. Got black and white, and then all of the miscellaneous colorful dyed wools, along with sweet Mother Crow. You know you love her. This second row has got my smaller scrap fabrics that I don't want floating around getting lost in the larger basket. I've got my dyes in here along with 3 baskets worth of sewing supplies. The top one is elastics for the most part and like ribbons and stuff. The second one is pins, needles, and threads, and then the bottom one is entirely buttons. Oh, and my third basket is missing something. Just a second. Okay, there we go. All as it should be. This third basket is all of my felting supplies. So I've got my felting block, and then this, which is the thing that was missing, is wire and wire cutting supplies, because my felted creatures usually have armatures on the inside. And then this is just all of my felting needles. This bottom row is all just yarn. And coming in for the grand finale is my beautiful, wonderful wall of posters. A poster wall. A gallery wall? I don't know if this is a gallery wall. I think that things have to be framed for it to be a gallery wall. Everything should be labeled right now. I am super happy with how this turned out. I love having all of these knickknacks and beautiful objects in plain sight. They all have meaning to me and I love them a lot. I am very lucky to have this many beautiful things. But yeah, that is the finished result. So if you hadn't already noticed or suspected perhaps, I am here to confirm that this is my first ever YouTube video, and as such I am very, very much open to advice, comments, questions, concerns down in the comments below. I definitely feel like there were some dodgy moments with the camera footage. I am obviously still pretty awkward in front of the camera, and like there were definitely things that I noticed that I could improve, just like editing this and watching it back 100 million times. But I am very proud of it and very happy with it. I hope to keep making videos on this channel, and I thank you very, very much for watching my first video. That's super cool, right? Yeah, thank you. Goodbye. I love you.